2001, and they closed the doors because they went to our federal health minister, Health Canada. They tried to get $5 million to keep the door open to try to get Canadians more physically active, or they were going to close the doors. And the Health Canada said, no, we're not giving it to you. And at the time, the budget for Health Canada was $200 billion. They could not find $5 million for an organization focusing on preventive health care.
Yeah.
So we closed the doors, then a recession came, and then what's going to happen soon, which is one of the reasons why I'm speaking up probably more now than ever before, is inflation goes up, interest rates go up, you leverage all your assets until you have no more assets to leverage. And that's when I was distressed.
Yeah.
I crashed very quickly. I lost weight. It was prescribed Paxil. Felt pretty good, weaned myself off based on what I read. My doctor really didn't know anything about how to wean someone off of a drug. Delusions, that's what I had. My son had mild epilepsy. I thought it was permanent brain damage. And it really gets into the issues in our country. And it really is the first time that I think many people have stepped back and wondered if maybe their drugs are doing more harm than good. Do not listen to Health Canada. Health Canada might say, we want to see more information on a drug. We would like you to do a little bit more research on a drug. And the pharmaceutical company said, no, we're not going to. I mean, they're not complying with Health Canada. And back up until 2014, we'd be penalized $5,000 a day. When you think of the pharmaceutical industry, I mean, what's $5,000 a day? Now, it could be up to $5 million a day. They start to recognize the broader public. And I hope we create some healthy skepticism about the pharmaceutical industry. We need prescription drugs, but we don't need to be on them for life. We don't need to be on 12 drugs at a time. Many people within the system are aware of all this. So this is, my role. My role is just to share my story because it is, I can't think of much more, heinous than taking your own child's life. So Know Your Drugs is a global awareness campaign because these issues are across countries throughout the world. Still don't recognize that these drugs can do the harm because the doctors still don't share that when you get a prescription. They don't tell you possibility that you can become suicidal. And that warning has been out in Canada since 2004, just before I wound up taking my son's life. Those warnings were starting to come out. Yet the drug companies knew about this in the 90s when they were doing their clinical trials. They just hid the data. I call Preventing Another Opioid Crisis. We talk about a study called 329, which is about Paxil, Arapex, and the fraud, how they hid the data.